and then Optimus Prime says, "You're a traitor. I did all this for you, and this is how you repay me." And he goes to shoot Cliff Jumper again, and Megatron takes the shot, takes the bullet for him, but he's fine. He doesn't die. The Cliff Jumper finishes the job. He shoots at what's been turned into glass, and that causes the whole platform and the arc to go down. And Optimus, you can see the explosion in his faceplate. He's like, "No!" If he had a facial expression. And then the Decepticons make a retreat, and Optimus is shooting at him. Megatron gets a hit on him, and Cliffjumper decides to join the Shattered Glass Decepticons. What else? There is now what I really like about this is that you get some Shattered Glass bios. You get of Rodimus and of Starscream. Rodimus used to lead the Wreckers, apparently, which were a group of mercenaries, and they were hired by Optimus to bolster their forces at a particular during the Battle of Praxis Delta. And the Decepticon killed every Wrecker except for Rodimus. So that means there's probably no Springer. There's probably no Whirl, Twin Twist, Rack and Ruin, Impactor maybe, maybe even Inferno, because Inferno was also a Wrecker at some point. Whoever else was a Wrecker, they're probably dead. It doesn't say who was in the Wreckers. And then Starscream was a mathematician, I believe. No, he was one of the most brilliant scientific minds to graduate from the Crystal City Sciences Institute on Cybertron. He wanted to use his scientific genius for good and for Cybertronian advancement after the war is over. If it ever ends, of course. And then you get a small comic with some Autobots in some sort of facility. And I find it really funny that now that another little add-on that Grimlock says, instead of saying "me Grimlock," he says "I Grimlock." It's another sort of polar opposite kind of thing. Find some sort of Decepticon genetics lab, maybe. It's some sort of secret technology, possibly Pretenders, maybe. I have no idea. Doesn't really explain it. But Starscream and some of the Predacons are there lying in wait. And you find out that the Predacons were hit by a shrinking ray, and that's why they're so small. That's why they're minicons in this set, which is kind of cool. I like that. And Grimlock transforms and is stomping the crap out of Starscream. But you find out Starscream has backup in the form of a group called the Mayhem Suppression Squad instead of the Mayhem Attack Squad, I think. It was in the G1 it was the Decepticon retaliation to the Wreckers. So you have, let's see, who you have? You got a Conehead there, possibly Ramjet. You got Bugbite. You got some more Seekers. You got Deathsaurus in his in a Shattered Glass version of his Descent into Evil version, and that's a repaint, sorry, of R.I.D. Megatron. I'm sorry. And then who else? That looks like Mind Wipe, maybe. And then you got Astro Train. Cool. And there, you just stop it there. There's no ensuing battle, which kind of sucks. But yeah, here's Shattered Glass Botcon comic. And again, I got this from Pendragon Comics. I find it amazing that I could get it. I don't think I'll ever get I don't think I'll be getting another one unless someone. I got this purely by chance. Someone else was asking for it, and the guy who owns the store knew that I was really into Transformers comics. And he asked, "Oh, I don't know if you're interested, but do you want this?" I'm like, "Yes, I wanted that copy," but he said, "Sorry, it's for somebody else." So he ordered me another one. I love the cover. You see Megatron. You see Starscream up here. You see Sideswipe. You see you see Razor Claw here. This looks like this here looks like the Transformers Collectors Club Barricade guy, Barricade repaint. There's Soundwave as a shadow with one of the birds, and another one of the birds is there. Not much detail. There's Cyclonus. Not much more detail to them to tell. I think this is a Real Gear robot though, and you see him a few times. And then there's Optimus Prime looking all menacing. And this is issue number 3 from Fun Publications of the Timelines series, I believe. So I guess they did Descent into Evil, and then Games of Deception, and now this, and then they're going to be doing the new one, which is the very confusing story of a G1 version of the animated Elite Guard. I'm very confused with that. Of course, I'm not going to be getting any of the sets, so there you go. So here it is. Botcon Transformers Timelines Shattered Glass. I'm PyjamaPrime. I'll talk at you later.